In accounting, the Big Four's multi-billion-dollar AI transformation is rewriting the playbook for every accounting firm. Use AI daily, but never blindly. AI is not dangerous because it's wrong. It's dangerous because people assume it's right. And we've had horror stories on that. So make that critical thinking part of your workflow, part of your training, part of your mentoring, part of your coaching, part of your own self-development. Because the truth is this, the Big Four aren't winning because they have more people or more budgets. They're winning because they have a clearer focus, stronger governance, relentless communication about what AI means. This episode reveals what the smaller and mid-tier firms and ambitious professionals inside them can apply right now. This is the Accounting Voices podcast. I am Rob Brown. In accounting, the Big Four's multi-billion-dollar AI transformation is rewriting the playbook for every accounting firm. This episode reveals what the smaller and mid-tier firms and ambitious professionals inside them can apply right now to stay relevant, credible, and informed. This is the Accounting Voices podcast. I am Rob Brown. Last time on the show, we looked at the Big Four AI race, the billions that have been spent, the thousands of jobs being cut, how it's changing the talent landscape, and how the profession is transforming before our very eyes. If you missed it, go back. After this episode is the context for everything that follows. But look, if you are not in a Big Four firm, and they have their own podcast, so we don't know how many people from the Big Four listen to this show, but this is the episode for you because the same principles driving their AI revolution can and should be transforming your firm and your career too. You don't need their budgets. You just need to take a little bit of their mindset, because the truth is this, the Big Four aren't winning because they have more people or more budgets. They're winning because they have a clearer focus, stronger governance, relentless communication about what AI means inside and outside their organization. Now, I'm not pretending they get it right. And when they do get it wrong, they get it catastrophically wrong. And there are things you can read in the news about that. But the Big Four firms tend to lead the charge. And what they do, the mid-tier firms follow. And what the mid-tier firms do, the smaller firms follow as well in order to keep up. So this juggernaut just keeps going. What we want to do in this episode is break down what the smaller mid-tier firms can borrow from the playbook, but do it at their scale. So as always in this show, we want to help you be more informed, more relevant, more authoritative in what you do. So you know what's going on. You got more of a say in your own career. So tip number one, start with transparency, not technology. Every Big Four firm now publishes an internal AI policy, so what tools are allowed, what's off limits, how results are reviewed, and that single document builds a lot of trust with staff, and then they make an external version available so it builds trust with clients. You can do this too, no matter how big your firm is, even if it's just one page on your website or on an onboarding document that says, here's how we use AI, and here's how we use AI, and here's where humans sign off. Clarity complements capability there. So number two, pick your battles. PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, EY, they all focus on the three core areas of audit automation. And we know that can be buggy. We had a comment on our YouTube channel just recently about how the work is such drudgery in checking out all the bugs in AI audit, but it is what it is. So audit automation, tax research, advisory insights. They're not chasing novelty everywhere, from what I can see. They're targeting repeatable wins. Now, you can apply AI in any of your services. If you run a 10-person firm, a 100-person firm or more, if you're picking your battles here, define 3 use cases where AI saves time and improves accuracy. You don't automate the firm, you automate the friction in the firm, and you get that low-hanging fruit, those quick wins, those things that you're really, really good at, and you 10x them. You make them a lot better. Once you've nailed that, you can fight other battles. Number 3 tip that we can learn from the Big Four is to train for judgment. So the investment isn't necessarily the software with these Big Four firms. It's the people learning how to challenge and operate the software. And I heard a comment recently that actually AI isn't software. AI is a lump of clay, and you've got to shape it in whatever format you like to make the masterpiece. I'm adding my little spin on there. So what we're saying here is it's the people learning how to challenge the software and use it. So teach your team to question the outputs, verify the sources, explain the limitations. AI is not dangerous because it's wrong. It's dangerous because people assume it's right. And we've had horror stories on that. So make that critical thinking part of your workflow, part of your training, part of your mentoring, part of your coaching, part of your own self-development. Number 4, show your work. This comes back to me as a maths teacher. I used to teach in high schools in the US and Hong Kong and here in the UK. And you remember your maths training, always show you're working. Deloitte and EY published before and after examples of how AI changed their processes. And when clients see that transparency, the confidence grows in the technology and the software in the lump of clay. And you can do the same on a smaller scale with some demos, some LinkedIn posts, some team show and tells, just some examples, just charting your journey. I've spoken on this show about Chris Johnson before. He runs a small firm, only does 401k audits in San Antonio, Texas. But he documents his journey and he's really transparent with it. He's open. He's on the bleeding edge of AI for sure, but he's a real trailblazer that's not scared to share with the world what he's doing to make the whole accounting space better. Now, you don't have to follow Chris's example, but visibility builds trust inside and outside your firm if you can show your work. So that's what it means for the firm. I want to finish with what it means for you as an individual, because this show is always more about the individual, you, the accounting, bookkeeping, finance professional, tech professional. So even if you're not running a firm, the rules still apply. You want to be that person who experiments, who documents, that shares, is visible, is vocal, because visibility is what gets you noticed. It makes you promotable. It gives you curiosity and it makes you future-proof. It inoculates your career. It gives you options, gives you autonomy, gives you flexibility in your career. So I'm always encouraging the audience of this show on Accounting Voices to be more authoritative, to be more declarative, to be more visible, to put yourself out there a little bit more. Builds your network, builds your brand. So what you can do now as an individual, write your own personal AI policy, even just a simple list of tools and boundaries that you're using to help build confidence, your own confidence as much as anything. You can get AI ChatGPT to help you write that, because you're probably loading it with your personality and your style and your vision and your persona and your values. So write your own AI policy. Number 2, choose 3 small wins for yourself. Forget the firm for the moment. You might automate data gathering, summarizing, scheduling, content creation, various aspects of your workflow. Choose 3 small wins and AI the heck out of them and see what comes up. At number 3, learn to question. Use AI daily, but never blindly. I'm using it just as a lot of people are, and I'm starting to be more rigorous in challenging AI because it gets things wrong. Sometimes it answers questions that haven't even been asked. I had a use case recently where I was preparing for an interview with somebody and it brought up a quote that this person had apparently said and they never said it. And then when I got rigorous with it and said, where did that come from? They said it came from Reddit. And this guy, he never uses Reddit. We know there's hallucinations. We've talked on this show about it before. So learn to question. Definitely. Use AI daily, but never blindly. Number 4, always encouraging you to do this, which is share something. Post a tip, an experiment, a lesson learned, a little use case, a little demo, a little Loom video. Show that you're learning, but out loud. It benefits the whole ecosystem. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't get watched by 1 million people. It doesn't matter if you don't get 100 likes or 50 comments. It's what it makes of you as you start to share that stuff. It's that person you become. It's not what other people think you are. So look, to bring this to a close, the big 4 have got millions, but the smaller firms have something just as powerful. It's agility. You can test faster, you can pivot quicker, you can build trust one conversation at a time, you can build your own personal brand without having to think too much about the corporate brand. Hopefully the show's been helpful. I'm going to do one more on what we can learn from the big 4. But this is Accounting Voices. I'm Rob Brown. We're on YouTube. We've got a growing YouTube channel, lots of comments coming out on our shows there, but we're on all podcast platforms. Connect to us on LinkedIn, join the Accounting Voices newsletter where we put in updates like this to keep you learning how to stay visible, how to stay relevant as this profession changes. And if your company wants to reach accounting decision makers worldwide, if you're in technology, message me on LinkedIn. And one final message for today, I'm taking on a couple of clients in the next 12 months to do a podcast for them. This is a private internal podcast. So this is for the big firms. If you're 500 to 1,000 people or more, if you've been going through some private equity or M&A activity, if you've got a lot of people that don't know each other, if people are hybrid working, if you're pivoting on strategy, on direction, on values, a private podcast is a show that only your people can see, only your people have access to. So it would be me as your host interviewing your leaders, interviewing your people in decision-making capacities, shining a light on the great things that your firm is doing. It could be some external episodes as well, but let's have that conversation about how you bind culture and bring everybody together and amplify the great things that you're doing so people are more well known to each other. That's great for culture and engagement, and that's what a private podcast can do. Thanks for tuning in to Accounting Voices. I'll see you on the next episode.